the Holy Bible. August 11, 2026. Genesis Introduction. Author. Though the book of Genesis is anonymous, no author is listed. Ancient Jewish and Christian traditions held that Moses authored the first 5 books of the Bible, referred to as the Pentateuch, 5 vessels of the Torah, a Hebrew word for law or instruction. That Moses stood behind these 5 books is attested to in both the Old and the New Testaments. CNEH 8:1, MARK 12:26. Assuming Mosaic authorship does not prevent us from accepting that others would have provided some editorial additions later. For example, the details of Moses' death in Deuteronomy 34:5-12 and the mention of the city Dan in Genesis 14:14, which would not have been named until the time of the judges. See Judge 18:29. Thus, though many critical scholars today reject Mosaic authorship, we have good reason to accept the biblical tradition that Moses wrote the Pentateuch. For Genesis in particular, Moses probably used written sources and put them together to form this book. Historical background. Genesis covers the lengthy period from the creation of the heavens and the earth, 1:1, to the death of Joseph, the son of Jacob, in Egypt, 50:26. It includes an account of the origin of humankind and another of the origin of the nation of Israel. The rest of the Bible is dependent on the history and theology of Genesis. It is the history and theology of Genesis. It is foundational for all that follows. Here we have the creation of the universe, man and woman, made in the image of God, the mandate for humans to rule the earth, the first marriage, Satan's opposition to humanity, the fall of humanity into sin, God's promise to defeat Satan through the seed of the woman, Noah and the flood, the Tower of Babylon, God's covenant with Abraham, the faith of Abraham, the sacrifice of Isaac, the introduction to the 12 sons of Jacob, that is Israel, the story of Joseph, and more. Message and purpose. Genesis is the book of beginnings. It is critical because it sets the stage for the rest of the scripture. The best way to understand Genesis is through its personalities. Beginning with the first couple, Adam and Eve. God gave his dominion covenant to humankind to rule on his behalf on earth as a reflection of his dominion over all. This set the stage for the fall, when Adam and Eve sinned against God, bringing earth under the temporary control of Satan. But the episode recording the entrance of sin is also embedded with the prophecy of the entrance of sin. Redeemer 3:15, Jesus Christ, who will defeat Satan and restore God's kingdom, rule over all. In the meantime, Genesis records the angelic conflict now being waged on earth to such an extent that God destroyed the earth with a flood and began again with Noah to establish his kingdom rule. For Genesis introduces us to kingdom concept. The world after the flood also rebelled against God at Babylon, and God judged the people for trying to establish unity without him. Then God called one man, Abraham, through whom he would reestablish his kingdom regime. Beginning with chapter 12, Genesis traces the history of Abraham and his family as God lays the foundation of his kingdom through the nation of Israel. Outline. 1. From Adam to Abram. 1:1 through 11:9. A. Creation, marriage, and the fall into sin. 1:1 through 5:32. B. The flood. 6:1 through 8:22. C. A new beginning and a dead end. 9:1 through 11:9. 2. Abraham. 11:10 through 24:67. A. Father Abraham and his rocky faith journey. 11:10 through 14:24. B. From Abram to Abraham. A. Covenant renewed. 15:1 through 17:27. C. Sodom and Lot. 18:1 through 19:38. D. Isaac. Birth, sacrifice, and quest for a wife. 21 through 24:67. 3. Jacob. 25:1 through 36:43. A. Jacob, the deceiver, and Esau, the impulsive. 25:1 through 28:9. B. A holy God, a beautiful woman, and a deceptive uncle. 28:10 through 29:29. C. Jacob multiplies, struggles with God. C. Jacob multiplies, struggles with God, and meets Esau again. 29:30 through 33:20. D. The defilement of Dinah and the return of Bethel. 34:1 through 36:43. 4. Joseph. 37:1 through 50:26. A. Joseph and dreamer and Judah, the hypocrite. 37:1, 38:30. B. From rags to riches in Egypt. 39:1 through 4:57. C. Family reunion. 42:1 through 47:31. D. The blessings of Jacob and the promises of God. 48:1 through 50:26. Genesis 1. The creation. In the beginning, A. God created the heavens and the earth. A. B. 2. Now the earth was formless and empty. C. Darkness covered the surface of the watery depths, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. D. 3. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. 4. God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. 5. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. There was an evening and there was a morning, one day. 6. Then God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters, separating water from water." And F. 7. So God made the expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above the expanse. G. And it was so. 8. God called the expanse sky. B. Evening came and then morning the second day.